hope. Your football team's your bloodline. It's your heritage. It's where you come from. Your football team. That's who they are.
Touchdown.
Okay, let's lower the music. What's up, everybody? This is Sports Goofs number 126. And I'm not contractually obligated to say this, but I feel like saying this anyways. Presented by Mr. Tortilla. So, I just want to say that for every episode from here on out. I'm Francisco, joined by my good buddies Andrew and Charles here. Yes, we've got sports. We've got random stuff to talk about because sometimes we just get tired of talking about sports. We were just talking about Steve Harvey being a judge, which is weird, but it's television, and I guess they're running out of ideas, so, you know, that's what's going down there. Anyways, hey, how's it going, everybody? How you guys doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm lazy today. I'm the laziest of lazy, so that's where I'm at right now. But I got some things done. You guys heard about that off camera or whatever. But yeah. So, anyways, Charles, what's the game of the day today?
We are starting up Bayonetta. I need to give my Switch some love because there's a game that I would love to recommend, but I just can't yet. So I was like, all right, I need something to play during the show, and I want to play a multiplayer. And I had Bayonetta from the download when I had Bayonetta 2 on my Switch, so, you know, you get the free download in there. So I'm like, all right, this will be about 10 hours, so we can get done within about 3 shows. So it's a perfect segue. And I literally just started before we jumped on, so we're going to get instant reactions from start to finish, and we're going to expect me to be hating my thumb. Because with any kind of these, it's not a button masher, but with these kind of hack and slash style games, all of this, Devil May Cry, No More Heroes, you get sore, man.
We're going to be hearing the clicking in the background, so that's
I swear that's the controller.
Okay. So, man, so we got college football, we got NFL, got some hockey and NBA. We got a little bit of everything. I've got a theme to my smaller segments today. There's a theme that's gonna run throughout. Okay, guys. So that's what's gonna be happening. So you guys should.
I'm all about themes.
Yeah, you guys should enjoy that. So, all right. Where do we start with this one, guys? Where do we start? Should we go with my theme just so you guys can we can get it out of the way. You guys can kind of laugh about it and be like, okay, alrighty. Anyways, okay, so I guess we'll do that. We'll do that. So let's start with where should I go? I know. Yeah, this is how I'm planning this out. It's better to know a minor league team. So we talk about billions of minor league teams out there. They're like stars in the universe. They're just more and more each day, and some die and some are born all the time. But
if this is going where I think it's going, I think this can also double as a you go girl.
Well, it's not going where you think it's going, but it will. You just put a pin on that, Andrew. Okay, all right.
Okay.
So we're gonna do the Gwinnett Stripers. So the Gwinnett Stripers, they are the AAA affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. They were established in 2009. They used to be the Gwinnett Braves, and then they moved from Richmond when they were the Richmond Braves a long time ago. 1966 to 2008, and then before that they were the Atlanta Crackers, 1901 through 1965, which is kind of funny when you think about the region and area that they're from. And the reason that the Crackers ended was because the Braves moved in 1966, so that's why the Crackers were out. Funny. Anyways, they've been the Atlanta Braves affiliate for ever. The Atlanta Crackers were actually the Milwaukee Braves affiliate, and then they just decided to move the team to Atlanta. So there you go. They've never won a championship while they've been in Gwinnett. But I guess going through all of the franchise minor league history, they've got a notable amount of players. Okay, you got Brian Snitker. The current Braves manager used to be the manager of the Stripers, and then he moved up to be the Braves manager. So that's where he comes from. Freddie Freeman played there as well. Julio Teheran as well played there. While they were in Richmond, this is here's some heavy hitters while they were in Richmond. You got Dusty Baker. You got Bobby Cox. You got Jermaine Dye. You got Jason Hayward. Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, Brian Jordan, David Justice, Tony La Russa, Dale Murphy, Ned Yost, and Deion Sanders. So some heavy hitters. Yeah. And then when they were at the Crackers, you got Luke Appling, Hall of Famer, Eddie Matthews, another Hall of Famer, Tim McCarver, and here's another Hall of Famer, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Charlie Trippi was on the Crackers. And they play out in Coolray Field, which is in Lawrenceville, Georgia, opened in 2009 along with the team's move to Gwinnett, and holds about 10,427 people there. Okay, but another guy, and here we're going. We're gonna start hitting on this theme because we're gonna connect it to the other thing. Okay, guys. So let's go to a player we remember to forget, and I'm going to be talking about Peter Moylan. So Peter Moylan, you guys are like, who the hell is that? And that's the reason we have this segment. Peter Moylan, pitcher, relief pitcher, played in baseball, played primarily for the Braves, also played for the Dodgers and the Royals. His career didn't last too long, but it was long enough with stints here and there. 2006 through 2012 with the Braves, then went to the Dodgers for a season. Then was out of Major League Baseball, went back to the Braves in 2015, then with the Royals for a bit, and then ended on a minor league contract with the Braves in 2018. The 24-10, 3.10 ERA, 324 strikeouts throughout his time. He was originally signed by the Minnesota Twins. He's from Australia, and he was signed by the Twins, but then he couldn't cut it at that time. He became a pharmaceutical salesman in Australia. Then he made a comeback in the Chinese Professional Baseball League out in Taiwan. And then during the World Baseball Classic, the first one in 2006, he did pretty well. The Braves invited him to spring training, and he made the team. And he also played out in the Czech Extraliga, which apparently the Czech Republic has a baseball league. I did not know this. The Draci Brno, I can't pronounce that. Don't know what that means. and he was an analyst for the Braves in 2019. Okay, and we're going to move on from here, guys, because he's currently the manager of the Melbourne Aces. So we're going to move from this to Uncultured Swine. And we're going to learn about the Melbourne Aces, okay? We're delving into Australia. So the Melbourne Aces. All right, come on, give it to me. So the Melbourne Aces, they're out in the Australian Baseball League playing Melbourne in the Melbourne Park. They have won 2 championships. They were established back in 2010 or 2009. They played their first season in 2010, and they've won back-to-back championships. Most recently, their colors are red, midnight blue, and white. Okay, and of course Peter Moylan used to be their pitching coach and is now their manager. Their general manager was also a former major leaguer, and Justin Huber, who played for them. And you know they play out over there. Let me see, what else do I have here in my notes? So the theme keeps going. We're diving into Australia. And their current ballpark is the Melbourne Ballpark. It's the best consensus baseball park in the country of Australia. They hosted the All-Star Game for like 5 seasons in a row. They had 2 prior teams because the Australian Baseball League used to have an original league that folded a while back. They hold 5,000 people. And they most recently are in the news because of this person right here. And it's You Go Girl. So we're going to move on to You Go Girl because most recently the Melbourne Aces have they signed, and I think she's the first woman to play in a professional men's baseball league. So her name is Genevieve Beacom. So she's 17 years old. So just beating the crap out of a lot of people out there. She's let's see. So she made her first appearance recently. She pitched 1 inning, allowed 1 hit and 1 walk and no earned runs in that inning. She's moved up the ranks from the under 16 league out there in Australia, beating out hundreds of other local baseball teams, and then the Aces. And the pitcher Peter Moylan just he was impressed by her, and so they signed her, and so she's blazing a trail right there, and she actually hopes to play for a NCAA team in 2023. So she hopes that she can garner some interest from someone out here in the United States. So you go, girl. There we go. So there's the theme, guys. It just went from one thing to the other. Made it all connected. That's what I did instead of a lot of other things I should have done today.
Now I have Land Down Under stuck in my head.
Yeah. There was an Australian theme to today. The title of this episode is Crikey. So there we go. And please, everybody, don't be mad at the Stingrays. It's not their fault. Anyways. Oh, boy. Well, it didn't go where you thought it would go, Andrew. I know you had something, but we can make it go there if you want to. We can have 2 You Go Girls, right? I think Charles would be happy about that. We could save it. Yeah. Is Andrew here? I don't hear him no more. I think he's gone.
I have my mic on mute.
Okay. Yeah. And do you want to talk about this You Go Girl, Andrew, while we're here?
I think you kind of said it all.
No. I mean, about the different one that you thought that I was going to get to. Or was this where you thought I was going to?
No? I forget her name already.
Is it Rachel Balkovic?
Balkovic.
And mind you, Balkovic. I'm terrible at pronouncing names.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Well, you're going to have to learn it soon, Charles, because she's in the organization, the New York Yankees. So New York
I
Yankees
can
made
barely say my own name.
yeah. The New York Yankees recently also made history by naming Rachel Balkovec as the first female manager in minor league baseball, in affiliated minor league baseball. So that means the teams that go directly up to the major leagues. And so she's going to be the manager of the Tampa Tarpons out here in Single A. So she'll be out there. She's been with the Yankees for quite a while. She's from Omaha, Nebraska. And yeah, so she's been... she also... Oh, look at this. Here, look at this connection right here. She also coached in the Australian Baseball League. Look at that. So it all comes together.
You didn't plan this at all.
I did not plan that part at all. That's pretty new. But wow, she's been everywhere, huh? Look at this. She won Appalachian League's award for Strength Coach of the Year, 2014. Johnson City's affiliate Strength and Conditioning Coordinator, first woman to hold that title in baseball. Hired by the Astros to be their Latin American Strength and Conditioning Coordinator. So she helped them, power up to smash those trash cans. She learned Spanish all on her own for the position, so she could communicate with the players. The first woman in that role in Major League Baseball, and was the Corpus Christi Hooks strength and conditioning coach in 2018. She has 2 master's degrees. Gosh, man. I don't even... Virgin...
Yeah, we're in the same age group and we feel less accomplished.
Yeah, I know. And she got this in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And she worked for Dutch baseball and softball programs out there as an assistant hitting coach. And then a fellowship with the Driveline Giants in 2019, but decided to take the role with the Yankees as... wow. So here we are. So she's managing here, and the Yankees have done another historic thing, and a long line of historic things that the Yankees have done. So you go, girl. All right.
I mean, if she was replacing Aaron Boone, I would have her jersey day one. But I don't get to have the things that I want.
Charles. It could be the start. You never know. Could be the start.
Don't give me hope.
Yeah.
Don't give me hope. But good for her. Good for the Yankees. I'll give them that plug because we always knew that baseball. I'll tell you, basketball. We knew on the horizon that they were looking for some women in a high-end position. Becky Hammond came to mind, and I don't want to say she got blackballed, but for some reason she didn't get picked. But Chauncey Billups got picked over in Portland. Just saying, that was the wrong choice. So she had to go and get hired. She's going to WNBA. I forgot who she's in to coach the Aces or whatever, the team that lost in the finals. Yep. And then in football, you've at least had Bruce Arians trying to be a big change, and at least he was one of the coaches who brought one of the first women staffers, not being strength conditioning, but trying to do things as an assistant coordinator or assistant positional coach. But baseball, I can't really say that there was a lot of women who came to mind. I think we talked about it several shows ago about how they had the all-female broadcast in baseball. That was kind of big. So this is a very positive step forward. And how do I want to say this? You still have misogynistic mindsets that are heavily prevalent in all sports.
Yeah, just go on Twitter.
And just go on Twitter. Just go on Twitter. Everybody's going to feel like something's owed to them. But I think with baseball, this is a good thing where you can make whatever classless argument that you want about the opposite sex joining into that sport, can't play in that sport in essence. Oh, a woman can't be a defensive tackle. Oh, a woman can't be a 3D defender. But baseball is a very universal sport. I think all sports are universal to anybody of race, creed, color, gender, what have you. But baseball for me, and I don't know if you guys have seen anything on the radar, but it's a big shift, man, because I know we were getting some female executives in there, but by no means our radar was I seeing anything about either female bench coaches, hitting coaches, or a manager itself. And this is big because it's not as if, even though it's like the single A it's still something because it has a lot of grooming for the young guys that they take, or the guys overseas that they're seeing they're hit or miss, and that all goes down to who? Scouting, and that will tell you if they're going AA, AAA, or even the majors.
You know what I like about this? This is based on actual merit, unlike Aaron Boone, who just got the job without any actual merit, right, guys? So this is
being a yes man, right?
Yeah. So this is a person that actually has some merit, that actually has a resume that leads up to her being qualified for this job. So it's not just because I once hit a baseball in 2003 and then I did nothing else for the rest of my career. It's not that.
And I was an announcer on ESPN, and I wasn't a sociopath like Alex Rodriguez.
In the end, it was all moot because the Marlins won. All right, so let's see. So that was my theme. That was my whole thing going. I went with an Australian theme, and I guess with the Australian theme, I was, was it Novak Djokovic? Was he finally reinstated? That was the whole thing.
Yeah, they reinstated his visa.
Yeah. So they reinstated his visa, so I guess he's going to be doing the Australian Open. But there's of course a lot of I learned a little bit about Australian immigration law while I was checking up on that situation, and apparently there's a ton of people waiting in that same hotel that he was in, at that airport hotel, who have been waiting on the Australian immigration courts to hear their cases. And some people have been waiting for years, but here comes Mr. Serbian Parasaurolophus piece of shit coming over here trying to take priority over them because he's a tennis player. He hits a yellow fuzzy ball. So
we're Nadal fans.
Oh yeah,
here,
that's right.
We don't care about you.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, yeah, he was my goon. He was actually my goon. So that was the Gottlieb's goon right there. Novak Djokovic. Okay, what you do believe what you want, do the Aaron Rodgers thing. I don't give a shit about that. But you're taking precious time away from actual other people. You probably should have been made waiting for years on end because of that too. Okay, I guess it's a Serbian thing. We're gonna lose the Serbian audience now, guys. So, but I think that might be the theme for this year's. How much of our audience can we lose? I think that could be a nice accomplishment. It's almost like some of those YouTube videos are like, how many dislikes can this get? And they're trying to challenge themselves to do that. Whereas we're gonna lose this. I think we lost a Serbian audience a while ago, so that's not too bad. But we're gonna lose more of them now. Okay, and thanks to Charles, I'm just gonna associate that country with being Parasaurolophuses. Okay.
Well, keep in mind, for our brethren who want to leave us, we're not saying it's y'all. We're just saying it's the people whom we don't like. And the man the King Parasaurolophus, the word I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
King Dinosaur. he fraud. I don't even care if they say he's having a better NBA. And then when it comes to Jokic, just understand, we are not trying to ostracize a fan base. We are calling out individuals because for those who want to play fact checks, we are, we're checks, man. We check, we keep you in line. We check you out, buddy. Call us Walmart. You don't need to do self-checkout. We got you. You can't buy that. You don't have the money. No refunds.
And the thing is, it's not just the preference for his case over other people, normal quote unquote human beings' preferences over there in Australia. It's also him trying to lord over, or at least have preferential treatment over other tennis players around the world who all got their vaccinations, all did the things that they needed to do to enter the country of Australia, who has one of the more strict border policies with regards to the COVID around the world. So you've got other tennis players calling them out. Andy Murray called him out. He's like he's got to answer some questions about that. Andy Murray called him out. Rafael Nadal called him out. Was basically like, just stop being a bitch and just get your fucking vaccinations. That's basically what he. I'm paraphrasing there, but that's basically his feelings about it. So, yeah. I guess it's a Serbian thing. I don't know. All right, guys.
So we eat dead rabbits and the wolves.
But
COVID can't hurt us.
Parasaurolophuses are, of course, herbivores. They are prey. They are not predators. So I don't know. Yeah, there's some bit of cowardice there too. Okay, so I'm just gonna call him out. So yeah, Novak Djokovic, you're my goon that I'm putting out there. Here's another. Oh wow, I don't know if we're gonna do this, but we're gonna do this now. We're gonna do Roof Claim. Roof Claim is also another goon. Roofclaim.com, everybody. They are not gonna sponsor us at any point ever. But they recently they're currently suing the Jacksonville Jaguars for breach of contract. For here's the what's in here, by exposing Roofclaim.com's brand to a toxic marketing environment that will cause irreparable harm. So they paid the Jacksonville Jaguars $600,000 to sponsor them this year. And so now apparently they are pissed off and think that the Jaguars have breached their contract. But you should have known that when you decided to sponsor the Jacksonville Jaguars. So
all because they fired Urban Meyer. That was like their predicate. That they acted in bad faith, but yet that coach was fired for cause. I mean, so
yeah. There's a lot of things, but they should have known that this was going to be a shit show from the beginning.
Well,
I mean,
not
come
just
on.
That, but think bigger. You're the only roofing company. I don't know if they extend to like Georgia, but presumptively, if you have the funds to pay the Jacksonville Jaguars money to kind of sponsor a season, I think you're doing okay in business, bud.
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine.
This might be a marketing ploy. It might be that too. But yeah, so I'm gonna throw a goon out there for them. All right, and in connection to this, oh man, I'm doing a lot of connections here. This is not planned out, but I decided to just kind of talk about it anyways. I'm gonna do a real MVP to Jaguars fans. So Jacksonville.
Does this include Andrew or no?
I don't know. I think he's thoroughly disowned the team.
Still no. Still no.
So he's fully
Are you
disowned
gonna
go
the
back?
team.
No. I've debated it, but they lost me when they decided to hire Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
But they fired Urban.
Yeah, but also the fact that they hired the known racist guy as their strength and conditioning coach. It's like
there's too much now. He knows too much. There's too much to go back. So yeah, the Jaguars fans, a lot of them decided to come to the final game of the season dressed as clowns. I guess as a means of trying to get them to fire their GM. But I think the Jaguars' problems stem from a lot deeper than just the GM. Okay. So, yeah, I think I applaud a lot of fan bases that let their team know that they're very displeased when the team thoroughly deserves it. So I can get behind that, you know, as a person who was thoroughly displeased with my football team, to the point where I really don't give a shit anymore. You know, it's great to see. So to the Jaguars fans who have not been broken, good on you guys for hiding your pain by dressing up as clowns. So thank you all. Okay. And yeah, that's
thank you for supporting the Colts losing.
Yeah. Oh.
Don't worry, we're gonna be heating. The NFL segment's gonna be excellent.
Oh, should we get to it and then talk about the national championship, the second half? Do we want to do that?
I mean, we know. I think we all have things to say about the championship game, so I'm okay with that being the start to the second half.
Yeah, we're at the half-hour mark, so let's do that. Let's do that, Charles. Okay. Andrew, you will be biting in the background because I'm assuming you were you working RCFB yesterday?
Of course.
Okay, so we can kind of gauge the reaction to the game, especially as it was going down in real time. So So you prep up your notes in your brain or on your computer there. Well,
I've got it already.
Oh shit. Okay, good. So we'll go into the second half doing that, but Charles and I will talk about the final week of the first ever Week 18 in NFL history, final week of the season. It went down. Something went down. It was pretty interesting, actually. I think a lot of people were saying this is the best final week of NFL history, and I was like, okay, calm down, guys. All right, but it was there's a lot of recency bias there, but it was interesting nonetheless. So I just want to get one thing out of the way, guys. Let me just, while we're doing the beginning NFL segment, because I don't want to talk about this no more after this. The fucking Dolphins, guys. Let's just start.
Unfortunately, they gave you material to talk about it for the next several months.
Yeah, which is gonna suck because of the freaking sports radio down here. We got the Heat. Even the Heat, the Heat don't garner as much talk on sports radio compared to the Dolphins sucking. And of course, the Panthers are gonna get little to no talk, even though they're the number one team in
the billboard. Though when I was, I saw it on the way to Sawgrass Mills. Oh my God, look at that! The Cats are hot.
Well,
that's as much South.
Gosh, man. No,
that's the love that you're getting.
Yeah, I mean our
billboard.
Okay, so all right, so Week 18, the Dolphins. Well, the Dolphins did. I don't know. I guess they ruined the Patriots' seeding, but that was it. That was it. But yeah, they came up with a garbage time and final week win against the Patriots, 33-24. Jalen Waddle surpassed Anquan Bolden for most receptions among rookies in NFL history. Of course, he had one extra week to do it, so I don't really a lot of new records happened yesterday. I think it was just the NFL trying to push some bullshit stuff to market to people. Look, everybody had an extra week. That was it. Unless you were injured and only got to play 16 games or something like that, then we can't really compare.
Listen,
I don't know.
Let's, Francisco. All of this stuff happened before our time, but this is the same dilemma with the
Roger Maris.
Yeah,
or
literally any league.
2007 Patriots. It's like
and hell, the NFL hasn't been at 16. Wasn't even at 16 games forever.
Yeah, I know, but everyone
still talks. I'm going to tie this in here with your beloved Dolphins. The Patriots went 18-1. They won more games than your beloved undefeated Dolphins.
Beloved is such a strong word that doesn't apply anymore.
But they are still the only undefeated team.
That's
right. And everyone says that. Everyone talks about that.
Yeah.
They don't.
Everybody talks about that too much down here. Anyway, your point is made. Your point is made. I understand.
The point is, the player did the best they did with what they were given.
That's true. Anyways, you know me. I'm just incredibly pessimistic, the Grinch of the Miami Dolphins fan base. Like I was just like, okay, yeah, you guys won last game. That's fine, but it was like I told you guys when they had this streak, I wasn't believing none of it. I stopped watching the games. Guys. I truly did stop watching the games. And when they were 8-8, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Or was it? No, they were 8-7 or whatever. They were 8-7. It's like, that's fine, whatever. I don't give a shit. They're gonna screw it up, and they did. And now they won a final garbage time game against the Patriots in the final week, and the Patriots are still making the playoffs, which is really nothing new for the Dolphins. All right, the Miami Miracle. You all remember that? It didn't really matter. The Patriots still made the playoffs. The Dolphins didn't. So none of that mattered. None of this matters. But it mattered enough to Stephen Ross, who I still am going to say he's going to die before the Dolphins even win a Super Bowl. He fired Brian Flores. So now the Dolphins got to do this again. He didn't fire the GM because Stephen Ross doesn't like that's probably a thing too, and he apparently doesn't like firing the GM and the coach at the same time, so he leaves somebody else with the dirty laundry from the last person, and then they got to clean up that mess. So I actually like Brian Flores as the coach. You can pin some of the blame on him for how things go, but I still pin a lot of the blame on the players for sucking ass when they were 1-7. So, that's what went down, and
it was
that's
such a bad thing. We've defended Brian Flores. I've defended Brian Flores. I've been on the show for 3 years. I thought he was a good hire. Originally, I was impressed. He took a very deficient roster and went 6-10 that first season. That was the Ryan Fitzpatrick bridge season.
Yeah,
and then they go 10-6, and this year, a lot of the failures came from lack of drafting. I don't think you really needed the Jalen Waddle when you needed like a Najee Harris. The wide receiver crop that was available in the draft was still there. You didn't have to pay Byron Jones and Xavier Howard all that money to kind of like still not be in hell, but make your very known to be
and they
cheap
still
owner.
sucked for the first half of the season. So you paid him
known to be owner who is cheap as it is.
Well, he's not cheap.
Not want to go.
He's not cheap, but
it's like. But the thing is, he always feels kind of like every few spurn big free agent spendings, then he's just kind of like very half behind. You know what I mean? I think of Dominican Sue. I think of these guys. So you mean to tell me that guy who goes 9-8, who is already set up to interview for Chicago,
first back-to-back winning seasons, even though there's one extra week for the Dolphins since like the early 2000s or something like that. So
the guy who made no comment about trading for Deshaun at all, who was all about the true.
He wasn't against. He was against it, so that's probably it. That's part of the reason he got fired. He was against that.
I mean, that's my theory.
And I guess Tua doesn't like him, but Tua sucks as a quarterback anyway. So
You see, and I can't give into drama or belief of drama when it comes to a guy who's only been in the league for 2 years. Is it so much that Tua doesn't like him, or is Tua just trying to figure out how to figure out his skill set to be better? Because Tua, at best, you don't know what you're getting in that sense. Are you a bridge quarterback? Are you a starter? You're not a $100 million guy at this time. I think what had happened was this was a wash for Tua anyway because he was injured for those games, for the ribs and everything. And then there were games that were big question marks where for some reason, this is on Flores, so this is where maybe you get some of the defense is that he would bring in Jacoby Brissett for certain plays, but it's like to throw the ball deep. But I think Nick Saban doesn't coach weak-minded people. I think that's how I'm going to give the Bama tie-in, except unless his name's Henry Ruggs too soon. Sorry. But Tua, especially in that kind of light, in that position, what he had meant and legacy-wise, I don't see it. I just think my theory, as y'all know, is that Ross initially wanted Deshaun.
You could say, no. When was the last time Nick Saban produced an actual good quarterback? I mean, I'm not even counting Mac Jones yet. I'm not counting him yet.
But the thing is, you have two Bama quarterbacks who are in the playoffs, Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts, keeping in mind not counting the Oklahoma stint that he had. So the idea is that he's not producing Greg McElroy's or AJ McCarron's now. You are getting high-end guys, and you did win with Tua. You won with Tua last year. You won with Tua this year.
Half was Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I was just saying. And half was Ryan Fitzpatrick, but the other components were that too. So I think what happened was I really felt that Watson was the big, sexy number. And then I think there was that internal struggle. And this is all speculation. There's nothing there because the dirt sheets tell you that Watson wanted to play for Flores, which makes no sense to me because they never crossed paths, right? But we were only given the information that we're given. But it's one of those things where we talked about, we're like, it seems more likely that Stephen Ross wanted everybody on board with him and that Greer and him were not on the same page with Flores, and that's why he's out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So enough of this.
How do you feel about it? Leave us with that thought. Because who do you get now? There's not really the sexy guys.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, what's the point of doing this? So what's the point?
Eric Bieniemy is the only one.
Let's get Bill O'Brien in here. That'll bring Deshaun on over here. Okay. All right. Enough of this shitty team. Let's go to an actual good team. All right. So the Titans, number 1 seed in the. Let's go. Number 1 seed in the AFC.
Ooh.
12-5.
Ooh.
Beat the Texans.
Ooh, can I?
Let's go.
Can I take that range?
Let's get in.
Let's do this. So we went. No one wants to call us a Super Bowl contender, understandably so. No one wants to give us the love, understandably so. No one's going to even cast a vote except for one guy for Mike Vrabel for Coach of the Year because it's not the sexy pick because all this stuff is rigged. But you know what's not rigged? Tennessee, man. We won some, we lost some. We played everything. You know what was rigged? When y'all tried to get Seattle to win that game, refs. And guess what happened? You got cursed. 7-10. You know what's not rigged? Us knowing that we could be the best team out of everybody. We're not fraudulent. The Buffalo Bills are fraudulent. Beat them. Kansas City Chiefs, they're fraudulent. We beat them. The Indianapolis Colts, where all my people were saying, "Oh, Jonathan Taylor, he's the true MVP." I'm like, shush, child, because if Derrick Henry was fully healthy, that man would be the true MVP. Forget Aaron Rodgers, forget Tom Brady. Yeah. But I told you,
they got here this thing. The Titans are the first. Let's see, the Titans are the first. Are the 5th team in the last 25 seasons to finish as the number 1 seed without a 1,000-yard rusher or receiver. But of course, if Henry was healthy, that would have been, easy.
Keeping in mind,
and 3 of the previous 4 won the Super Bowl when that happened.
Yeah, and keeping in mind that he was only 70 yards away from getting 1,000 yards when he went down in Week 8.
Yeah.
But enough about rigged. Let me tell you what is rigged: destiny. And destiny has given us all these golds on a platter because we get that bye. We beat all the right teams. No one wants to acknowledge us as a true number 1. Sure, considering the fact that we have the same record as the other number 1 seed over in Green Bay. So believe what you want. And we beat Kansas City, so we're sorry that we're not that sexy, but can we beat them in the playoffs? I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about that. But everything is coming up daisies because now are we really the team that you want to play in the playoffs? Where if we get Henry back, we're not going to give him 40 yards or 40 carries a game, but that's what Deontay Foreman's for. So they're going to kind of go for the same thing. Julio Jones had like 60 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown's healthy. I want this. I love this because I think if we win, we go against what the Patrick Mahomes teams, the Houston Texans of their time, the Green Bay Packers telling you that you needed the most elite team, whereas we gave you a complete team. And yes, you laughed at us because we lost to the Texans. You laughed at us because we lost to the Jets. Okay. And because we beat everybody else that was supposed to be up. We beat San Francisco. The only team I think that we lost to that was in the playoffs, is legitimately in the playoffs, is the Cardinals. And guess what, buddy? Humble pie, that old thing that we used to do on this segment of the show, is coming to all the people who thought I was crazy saying that Zona wasn't good. Anywho, it feels good, boys, because it feels earned. And you know what this means. We're going to go down the first round.
Oh, God. Well, no, you're guaranteed into the second round because you're number 1 seed, so...
Yeah, well, we're gonna get knocked down to the divisional. I already understand this, and I accept it. I'm okay with it, but it feels good, and it feels different than 2009. For a flashback, 2009 is where we went to the number 1 seed with Kerry Collins and Chris Johnson.
Yeah,
as our big ones, and Lindale White chilling in the corner doing tequila shots. So this feels better because it's a better coach. This is not Jeff Fisher. This is Mike Vrabel, who is adaptable. I still have concerns about Tad Downing, but I don't even know who our opponents are. And to me, oh, happy day for us is the fact that we're not going to see the team that scared the legitimate crap out of me if they got into the playoffs. And that was Baltimore. I was terrified about getting them because they got it. I'm not scared about Pittsburgh, which was the other team that we lost to. But that's when we played them when we were super deficient, where we didn't have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones or Derrick Henry. That's who we played with the Steelers, and we lost by 6 points. Am I concerned about Kansas City? I think y'all should be concerned about Kansas City because look what happened to them. They could have beat certain teams, and they could have get it done. And what happens if you don't have Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Am I concerned about all the other teams?
So you guys will play the winner of either Cincinnati or Vegas. So that's who you got to anticipate coming.
I don't want none of those Patriots, though. I'm just telling you that right now.
Okay.
Don't give that to me. But it feels good. Y'all going to get it now because it's home field advantage. If it's going to be snowy season in Nashville, we run the ball. We have reliable pass catchers. Who do we match up with? And part of me, and one of my best friends is a Bills fan, but part of me wants the Bills because y'all still riding that dick for some reason, whatever that might be. When poor Josh Allen has to literally do everything and anything. But this feels good because we've had the 1 seed before, and I knew that stuff was fraudulent back